Hi everyone, I'm Alex Absalom,
And I'm Hannah.
and today we are thinking about spiritual warfare and moving in the opposite spirit. So, what do we mean by that, Hannah?
So we mean that when something bad is happening to you, or you're facing lack or something in a particular area, or negative things happening in a particular area, it's how do we move in the opposite spirit. So I think the temptation, so for example, lack or finances. So when we've been in a place of thinking, okay, I'm not quite sure how we're going to survive through the end of this month, the natural tendency is to hunker down and to save every penny, which
To hoard.
And we do
do
save, but it's this scarcity mindset. And how can you break the hold of this scarcity thing and be open-handed and generous, knowing that the Lord will provide.
Do you have a scripture for us, Hannah?
We do have a scripture of moving in the opposite spirit.
Just so happen to be open on the right page.
Wow, what a coincidence.
There we go.
We're well prepared. Okay, so it is Luke 6,
Take it.
verse 27. It says, "But to you who are listening, I say, love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who mistreat you. If someone slaps you on one cheek, turn to them the other," etc.
Okay. And why that text?
So, again, I mean, we've been in situations where people treat us poorly. And, I mean, all of us have those moments. And it's so tempting something rises in you, the justice thing or whatever, of, oh, it's not fair, I'm going to get revenge, or this is going to happen, or you speak angry words.
If only everyone knew.
If only everyone knew exactly what was going on, what's the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
And so we have to try and get a grip of ourselves, control our tongues, control our anger or emotion that bubbles up, and actually choose, because it is a choice, it's not going to come naturally, to bless and to speak blessing and to extend grace and mercy.
Yes, so I think this principle of trying to move in the opposite spirit is actually a very effective neutering of the temptations that the enemy sows into us. So when you recognize an emotion or a mindset rising up in you, and if you're really honest, I don't really think that's the Lord, or I don't want to camp out there or whatever. So one of the ways to dissolve it is to think, well, what's the opposite of that? So Hannah made the example of choosing to be generous in lack, or it could be choosing to bless when someone's done the dirty on you.
Or praying for your enemies and praying blessing on your enemies.
Or it's it's choosing kindness in the face of someone serving you in a place who's being mean and obnoxious, was just being difficult. It's those sorts of attitudes that we come in with, and it's because the enemy wants to see everyone angry and fearful and riled up and hostile and snarling at each other. One of the great battlefields is the battlefield of relationships, where spiritual warfare takes place. So the way we need to work in the battlefield of relationships is to choose to operate by kingdom values, even when it's really hard to do so. It's almost like you have to make the choice to lean into the thing and trust that your emotions and your mind will catch up. So I'm not pretending that you feel like being nice to that person, but you're going to make the choice to try and bless them and to be kind, to be as kind as you possibly could be in that moment. Even though they might fully deserve all the things you're thinking about them. But Jesus doesn't give that as an opt-out here in this text. So we have to embrace that and try and lean into that.
Yeah, that's good. It's good theoretically, and it's trying to get to that place in practice.
And sometimes it's jolly hard to do, and sometimes it's quite easy, but we would want to encourage you for yourselves and as you coach and lead others to take up the opposite spirit when you're in these moments.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's all for this one. We hope you found it useful, and we look forward to being with you soon.